Now, if a lot of you have either bought the book or know about the book, so you know that film and food are intrinsic in the book. So what I've done is I've pulled together some clips, which is all about Vincent and film and food. So all his films that have got food in it, we've done a little collection of clips. So, so Jenny, would you like to start on? And I'll let people in as you're doing.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It's so exciting to see you all and put some faces to some names. That's so brilliant. Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you. Right. The first cocktail I'm going to demonstrate is from the Treasury of Great Recipes, and also, of course, in the Supper with the Stars book. And it is Vincent Price's very own way of making a Bloody Mary. It's got a very interesting ingredient that you may not be expecting. So here's what we do. First of all, Vincent uses V8 rather than tomato juice, which I rather like because I'm partial to V8. It's not that easy to get it here in the UK, but you can get it from grocery delivery stores. So in his Treasury of Great Recipes, he makes a big jug of Bloody Mary, but I'm just making it for one. So I've divided the ingredients down. So I'm guessing that is about half a can of V8. So next, of course, is the vodka. I'm putting in 1 jigger of vodka. I can't find my jigger, so I'm just going to guess it now. I thought I had everything handy. But anyway, I just put a good old slug in there. So then a couple of drops of Tabasco to make it a little bit spicy. A couple of drops in there. And a couple of dashes of the fabulous Worcester sauce. I put this in everything. I had it on my baked beans this morning. I know that Americans think it's strange that we have baked beans on toast here, but that's a British thing. So a couple of dashes of Worcester sauce. Just over a tablespoon of lemon juice for one portion. Quite interesting. Quite a lot of lemon juice, but it's tasty. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar and a few grinds of fresh pepper. So I measured that out beforehand. And the magic ingredient, some MSG. Yes, my friends, MSG. I'm only going to put a tiny pinch in because MSG, you know, is a bit of a scary ingredient. And when I first bought MSG, it was actually for a red buttons recipe that I was making, shrimp tempura. And I went to my local Thai supermarket and I said, do you have MSG? And they said, yes, we do. And the smallest bag I could get was it was massive bag of MSG. And I took it to the counter and the man said to me, don't eat it all at once. And that was in 2011. And look how much I've got left. I've got all this MSG left. That is going to be a lot of Bloody Marys. So I'm going to put some ice in my Bloody Mary because ice and Bloody Mary is good. And it's very, very hot here in England. I don't know what it's like wherever you all are, but it's hot here. So lots of ice. Now, if that Bloody Mary sounds a little bit too many ingredients and a bit complicated, there is another Vincent Price Bloody Mary recipe in the book, and that is the recipe he shares in one of his adverts for Angostura bitters. Because Vincent was a kind of spokesperson for Angostura bitters, and many of you probably have a bottle of Angostura bitters in the back of your cocktail cabinet or in the back of the cupboard. So the other recipe is just tomato juice, vodka, and Angostura bitters. So that's a bit more of a simple Bloody Mary. So I'm going to read you what Vincent says about Bloody Marys in the Treasuries. He says, we like to serve Bloody Mary before lunch, especially in the summer when my Mary and our sun-loving friends melt around the swimming pool. Yeah, I'm melting here in London, actually. I retire with my drink to the fern garden, where the cool greens make a lovely background for the orange-red Bloody Mary, and I can sip it while contemplating a new fern frond unfurling. Try saying that after one of these. Cheers. Thanks, Vincent. So there you go. That's my first little cocktail demo, and I'm gonna sample it and let you know what I think. I've made this a few times before. It's quite a tangy Bloody Mary. I think the lemon juice gives it a nice tang and quite salty, but I like that. So cheers. That's our first little cocktail demo from the Supper with the Stars book. I'm so happy to see you people. I love it. It's so lovely to see you all here. Cheers.
I assume, Mr. Robinson, that you desire to become not a cook, but a chef supreme.
Absolutely, Babenko. What this world needs most is a good cookbook, and I, with your help, am going to compile one.
Then pay attention. Are you ready?
Yes, quite.
But that is the wrong answer.
Why?
Because no good cook is ever quite ready. There are so many little things to do. A dash of this and a sprinkle of that. Another second on the fire. But when the human animal screams for his food, we must give it to him whether we are ready or not. That! Now you are ready?
Yes. No. That is not quite.
Good. Then start stirring.
Yes, start stirring. Not quite ready. Set. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't you have to count too?
No, the spirit Mavshavsky is counting for me. Who? Silence! Mavshavsky is my spirit control. He's always right here with me over my shoulder.
Huh?
When I'm cooking.
Yes.
He is my master. As every epicure should know, Mavshavsky was the imperial chef to the little white father. The mad Tsar Paul I, emperor of all the Russias. Mavshavsky killed himself in the Battle of Nizhny Novgorod because the herring smelt.
Oh, that's awful.
You're back.
Yes, as you see, I'm back.
I didn't know I would have waited.
And here is Cousin Miranda.
Oh, welcome to Dragonwick, child. Thank you.
Will you sit here, Cousin Miranda?
Thank you. Did you have a pleasant trip, Nicholas?
Yes, very. Miss Wells has had practically nothing to eat today, Tompkins. I'd suggest you serve her at once.
At once, Mynheer.
I trust you'll be happy here.
It's most kind of you to let me come. And my mother and father wish to be remembered.
I'm sure they're most worthy people, and I'm sure you'll be a good girl. Oh, Nicholas.
Yes, my dear?
You didn't forget the pastries, did you?
Of course not, my dear.
Those wonderful New York pastries. Nicholas.
Yes?
Did you bring the Napoleons, the honey puffs, and the mocha bonbons?
All of them, my dear.
I think I'll have the bonbons before going to bed. Tompkins, serve the honey puffs after dinner, but be sure they're well chilled.
Yes, madame. And shall we keep the Napoleons for tomorrow?
For my lunch.
Are your desires monadic like your countenances?
Huh?
I mean, do you like to dance when your sister dances?
No, I want to just sit here and listen to some more poetry. Gee, I love poetry. And I think you're wonderful.
But who is this? What thing of sea or land? Female of the sex, it seems, that so bedecked, ornate, and gay comes this way sailing, with all her bravery on and tackle trim, sails filled and streamers waving, courted by all the winds that hold them play, an amber scent of odorous perfume, her harbinger.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Good evening. Good evening.
What's this?
Champagne.
Champagne for Caesar.
The beginning of a lifelong supply.
Dirty waters.
Good heavens, where have you been?
Champagne.
Oh, you lovely, lovely bird. We were roommates in college together.
So you're the one that taught him all these expressions. You...
Happy.
Oh, darling. Aren't you going to wish us good luck?
Well, you're obnoxious, but not quite as obnoxious as I thought you were.
Hello.
Flame.
Darling, aren't you packed and ready? If you don't hurry, we'll never have breakfast in Las Vegas.
You don't know how ready I am.
Oh, goodbye. Let's get loaded.
Don't worry, we will.
Come on in, my friends. Come on in. Get a load of this. You never tasted duck in your miserable lives like this one, a la Cardigan. Soaked in sherry with only salt and sage and pepper.
And butchered by the chef himself, a la Cardigan.
Shot, my pet, shot. Mix yourselves a drink while I put this on, huh?
It's a pretty weapon.
It's a gift from his fan club.
Darling, would you set the table for 3?
I'll set it for 4.
You got somebody else coming?
You have.
Fine, fine. Who?
A Mrs. Helen Cardigan.
Fine.
Hey, this is about the tastiest sandwich I've ever eaten. What is it?
Turkey. Wild turkey. Ever hunted them?
No, I haven't.
It's tricky shooting. They're sort of scary, but they're so big and clumsy, they hate to take wing. It's a lot of fun.
Meet Vincent Price, design authority and gourmet cook.
The poor, neglected kitchen, it's always been practical but dull. But now Sears Fiesta vinyl flooring is as colorful as Spain itself, and it never needs waxing. Choose stone mosaic, Spanish tile, or grill lace. Have a colorful kitchen with Fiesta. It's part of the greatest floor show in town at Sears. Hello, I'm Vincent Price. For many years now, mankind and his offspring have been searching for an alternative to peanut butter and jelly. After employing the latest methods in technology, the Peter Paul Candy Company has found the alternative to peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter with no jelly. Pure, creamy peanut butter dotted with Crispies, covered with pure milk chocolate, but no jelly. I'm sure you're as pleased as I am.
My Vincent fusses for hours over this precious soup stocks. He says good soup comes from good stock. So when I found Nestle's Soup Time with home-style stock and then made it in only 10 seconds, well, I got such an evil look. Oh, but even Vincent admits home-style stock makes Soup Time something special.
I wanted to hate it, but it's just too good. Nestle Soup Time instant soups with home-style stock. Look for our faces on the shelf.
Welcome, class, to Cousin's Sandwich Appreciation School. I want you to examine the Cousin's sandwich in front of you. See how skillfully the fresh ham and cheese has been sliced into delectable mounds. Regard the bread. Think that's just any bread? Ah. Now taste it. Search your feelings. That's pleasure you feel. Delicious, isn't it? Now, what did you learn about Cousins today?
Cousins taste great!
And don't you forget it. What you are about to witness may be more than the human mind can bear. Just an ordinary jar of pickles, you're thinking. But how wrong, how terribly wrong. They say the mean, tangy vinegar Haywards use drives these crisp young vegetables into a frenzy. We shall see.
Haywards, the first pickles to bite back.
So I hope you all enjoyed that. This is a question for Jenny and Ben. Is basically, I'd like to find out what their best parts of the book or working on the book would be. So let's go over to Ben first and have a chat with him.
Hello, everyone. Oh God, this book was so much fun. I think just my favorite part of it was just working with you, Peter, and just going back and forth and just just slowly working on it and just sending what I had. And you were so wonderful with sort of like, sometimes I'd have to redraw something, but it worked out totally fine. Like you gave fantastic critiques and stuff. And no, it was just a lot of fun because I love doing caricatures, but I don't usually have a huge opportunity to do them with the other work that I do. So this was a lot of fun to just
Has it inspired you to do some more caricatures, or are you still going to go into the direction that you're doing your own unique stuff that you do?
But I think caricature is always it's always something that I've loved, because I've always loved the work of Al Hirschfeld, and even people like Ronald Searle there in the UK, who I know Ronald Searle's not really known for his caricatures, but he did marvelous caricatures for TV Guide and things like that. So no, a lot of my heroes were very good at that kind of mimicry. It's like doing impressions, but with the hand.
And of course, Don actually he did Vincent's book, My Life with Joe, didn't he? So
yeah. And I know that I was talking with someone who worked with Vincent on his it was the last thing he was doing on PBS Mystery, a guy named Sandy Leonard, who wrote all of Vincent's dialogue for him, his introductions to Jeremy Brett, Sherlock Holmes, and all that sort of thing. And on his last day, someone had gifted him an original Hirschfeld caricature of him, and I guess he said, "I've always wanted one of these." So I know that Vincent approved at least of caricatures. I had a huge thrill, and thank you so much for this opportunity. It was so much fun.
Well, hopefully we can do it again one day.
I would love that. I would actually love to do that.
And Jenny, you've got a few things you want to say about working on the book, and especially with our testers.
Yes. The great joy for me was receiving feedback from all you wonderful people who tested recipes. A lot of the work on this book was done by Peter and I during the pandemic. I mean, we'd started the book before, but when we were kind of thrown into lockdown, we really started powering through it and really getting on with it. And honestly, just getting feedback from all you lovely people just really kept me going. It would quite often be very funny, the feedback I'd get. And also a lovely thing about it was that I was really sort of understanding how it was for people in different countries, what they were going through during the whole lockdown scenarios. And there were quite funny stories about things that people couldn't get hold of in their supermarkets and things like that. But I agree with Ben. One of the nicest things was working with you, Peter, because you make everything fun.
Yeah.
I'd never collaborated with another writer before, and it was just a pleasure. And you didn't mind when I was being really pernickety about things. So yeah, it was really fun working with you on it, Peter. And what a lovely excuse for me to be able to watch 52 Vincent Price films and think it was kind of work. Just watching them and finding, funny food things. I mean, I'd never seen that film with Jane Russell and Robert Mitchum. I forget the title of it now, but that scene where he's cooking preparing the duck, I mean, that is just genius. And it was really funny seeing your clips just now, Peter, because seeing the Champagne for Caesar clips reminded me that I have this picture of Vincent hanging up in my kitchen. It was one of the first things my husband, Mr. Rathbone, brought to me. And it's Vincent with the parrot. I don't know whether you can see it. So that hangs in my kitchen. He watches over me while I'm cooking. So it was fun seeing those clips. That was brilliant. The whole thing was just super, super fun. And I hope that comes across in the book, really, how much fun we all had doing it, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, I loved just everybody's comments in the verdicts. I mean, I just thought it was hilarious, and especially Jenny's, her own take on the films, so which is quite nice, because I've seen the films millions and millions of times, but it's just nice to see it from a food perspective, which I thought was really, really interesting, and it makes the book a bit unique, more than just a normal recipe book. So I just hope that came across as well. So for everyone. Now, I think we should actually let's just pick out a couple of people and see what they've come up with. Now, okay, Chris and Victoria, let's see what you've come up with today. So you'll have to unmute yourself, by the way.
So I made bread. Now, admittedly, I did do a gluten-free spin on it. So it's not as dark as, I probably would have wanted, but it's delicious. And I put strawberry jam on it, and it goes well with our champagne, with our rosé champagne. So it's quite nice. Chris, on the other hand, decided to go with the champagne lemon ice, right?
Champagne lemon ice, and forgive the crude serving bowl here. I have never whisked egg whites before, so that was a challenge, almost as much of a challenge as tying a bow tie. But I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm going to show that off a little bit.
Don't know how.
Put that right into the camera and see.
It's going to fall on the actual.
It's going to fall, but just drop a little bit there.
There we go.
Maybe you can see.
It looks delicious.
That there, but
we also just wanted to say the book is absolutely gorgeous. First of all, be it the recipes, the illustrations, the guidance in it, it's just all beautifully put together. So well done, all of you. Very nice. You did an amazing job. And so we've been bragging about it to friends and family that will listen to us, and talking about all the recipes and whatnot in there. But so yes, we're going to try this. We have not tasted it yet. We did use, what did you use for champagne? We used Freixenet, so we did use a Prosecco in it. Or excuse me, not a Prosecco, a Cava.
A Cava.
Yeah.
And it's very delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious. Very lemony. Very good. Very refreshing for these hot summer days.
It's a thumbs up from the Kellys over here.
When you did the egg whites, did you actually hand beat it, or did you use a machine?
I knew that I would get tired, so I retrofitted my power drill with a whisker.
It's a very American Chris Kelly thing to do, and
yes.
He did do that. Yeah, I'm coming in the kitchen, and he's got a drill, and he's got the beater attached to it. It was interesting.
To get it up to that fluffy texture.
It worked, but it was sight.
Yes.
That's a unique take on it. I'll have to remember.
It really is.
Now, over to I think we're over to Kelly. You've actually done something for us today as well. And
I have. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good, because I'm on my iPhone and it's tiny and you're very small, so it's all good. But we're also having for the Pacific Northwest here in Seattle, our own heat wave. It's not quite as hot as some other parts. So I managed to do some errands this morning before it gets too hot, because most of us Pacific Northwestern people don't have AC. So I managed to pull together the iced tea Southwestern style from Evelyn. Let's see, what is Evelyn's last name?
Judith Evelyn.
Yeah, Judith Evelyn. Thank you. Yes, so that was what I managed to pull together before today, so I could log on in time for today's meeting. So it's quite tasty. The only thing that I was missing was the pineapple juice. So still refreshing and quite good. So, but I did want to say, super happy with the book. And I was very excited along the way to learn that Ben Wickey was doing the illustrations, because Ben, I've been following you since I learned of House of Seven Gables, which I have not had an opportunity to see, but noticed that you won the Rondo Award for it. So congratulations. And I've been looking for a way to see that ever since. So I was really pleased and excited to learn he was doing the illustrations. It's a gorgeous book. And then in addition, I'm a friend of mine who is an Englishman who lives in the States. He used to live here in Seattle and he lives in Philly now, reached out recently. He knew of my Vincent Price, all of us like Vincent Price, and he knew of this, and he gave me a copy of the Co-Star album like 20 years ago. And so he and I have shared Vinny's stories over the years. He reached out recently and mentioned that he had in fact purchased the hardbound copy of the book and was super excited. And he also has the paperback version for a working copy within his kitchen so he can maintain his hardbound. And he didn't realize we had test cooked for it. And so when he saw that both my husband and I had detail in the book, he got very excited and reached out and said how happy he was to see that. And he wanted to know what I was going to be cooking because he plans to do some with his teenage daughter. So just to let you guys know that people are buying multiple copies and are super excited as well. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, I must admit is that we have actually had quite a few people sort of say, thank God there's a paperback version, because I can now use it in the kitchen, and I don't have to get it. I can get it dirty, and I can keep the hardback, in the bookcase, and just check it out when I need to, sort of thing. So, on the House of Seven Gables, Ben, how can people actually get that?
Well, I've been meaning to put it online, but at the moment you can get it on it's region free too, DVD and Blu-ray. It's the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival's Best of 2018. You can get it through their website, and you get my film, and it's in the best quality that exists of it, as well as other fantastic films that also won awards that year.
Great.
There we go. So we've got time for just one more person before we go to our next bit. So I'm going to ask Britt, what have you brought to the table today?
Howdy, humans. I actually was very short on time today. I've had a very busy morning. So I threw together the mixed greens salad, Vincent's mixed greens salad. And I went through it. I was so excited because it's so quick and so easy to make. And most of us have almost all of the ingredients in our pantries or refrigerators. And it's so explosive on the flavor. I was reading some of the, I think it was some of the reviews in the cookbook, and the woman said that it was one of the best salads that she had ever had. And I would have to agree with that. I added a little garnish of Parmesan cheese to mine because I'm cheesy, I like cheese. But I also have to say that being a part of this has been so fantastic, and getting to connect with all of these people, and what a wonderful bunch of people that have come together to do this. And it's so fun. And the cookbook, it's so much more than a cookbook, isn't it? It's so carefully curated, and between Peter and Jenny and Ben, it's just so fantastic. I don't know. I'm running short on words to describe it, but it really is just so wonderful and so much more than just a cookbook. And Jenny's right. It did get a lot of us through the pandemic, I'm sure. So thank you guys so much.
No, thank you. I must admit is that when the pandemic hit, that was when I actually decided to properly put the book together, because I'd been made redundant. So I just thought this is the ideal time, and I didn't realize. Now looking back at it, now that I look at the book, I actually think that it is actually a COVID book. It's about that period as well, and I think it's actually going to go on in time as actually being a little snapshot of that period for all of us in many, many ways. But at the same time, continuing Vincent's culinary legacy, which is super. Thank you very much for that. Now, we've had. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's cheers. That's cheers. Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now we've had. I've had some great. I think a lot of people may know Karie Bible, who does Hollywood Kitchen, where she celebrates the kitchens of great Hollywood stars. She couldn't be with us tonight because she's actually doing a tour, because she also is. She does tours of Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles. So she actually put together a little cook-along for us, just a very simple thing. So I thought that we'd just take a little break and we can actually see what she actually prepared.
Greetings from Hollywood. My name is Karie, and I do a video series called Hollywood Kitchen, where I make movie star recipes. And Jenny Hammerton and Peter Fuller have greatly inspired me with their work and their incredible cookbook, Supper with the Stars. So I can't join you in real life, but I'm happy to be here, at least pre-recorded, and I'm with you in spirit. So we are going to make today Anne France's gazpacho, since it is burning hot in Los Angeles. As you may know, she was famous mainly for the film Forbidden Planet, which is definitely a great iconic science fiction movie, and also the TV series Honey West. And she co-starred with Vincent Price in the film More Dead Than Alive. So we've got a Vincent Price connection, of course, and the Vincent Price Funko Pop is going to supervise everything. So what we will need for Anne France's gazpacho, okay, 1/2 clove of garlic. Apparently we put all this in a blender, by the way. Okay, 1/2 small onion sliced. We have that right here. Okay, 1/2 green pepper seeded and sliced. Put that in here. Okay, let's see. 3 ripe tomatoes. Tomatoes. All right, let's see. Okay. Cucumber. I mixed the salt and pepper in advance here, so I put the salt and pepper in here. 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And 1/2 cup of ice water. Okay, I am going to go put this in the blender, but I'm going to spare you the loud blender noise, so stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I put all of the ingredients in the blender, I blended it, and voila! Anne France's gazpacho soup. And it does suggest that this would be a great meal for summer and really hot weather, which is certainly the case right now. And also, the book mentions serving with bread. So I'm going to have some bread with mine. So thank you to Jenny and Peter for having me, and I hope that we can cook again live together in the near future.
It's time for another cocktail. Jenny?
Yes, cocktail number 2. I'm excited about this because I've never had one of these before. So we're going to make it's a bit like a French 75. French 75 was Tallulah Bankhead's favourite cocktail, and that is lemon juice, gin and champagne. But this is a kind of Mexican take on that. So we begin with a teaspoon of, please forgive my pronunciation, agave syrup.
Oh, Jenny, Jenny, you're fan.
Or should I turn my fan off?
Yeah, it's having a little bit of a noise here.
Okay, I'm turning it off, right, okay. I will be melting. It's so hot, but that's fine. So, agave syrup. This used to be very difficult to get hold of in England, but I think it's easier now because I think a lot of vegans use this as a substitute for honey. So you can get a hold of this quite easily. So there's a teaspoon of that. And then you add half an ounce of tequila, which I've already measured out. So tequila in there. And this cocktail has been renamed by Peter, the Barefoot Contessa, which is a film with Ava Gardner, of course. And I like the poster for this film because they call Ava Gardner the world's most beautiful animal. She was like that, wasn't she, Ava Gardner? She was quite a fox. So I'm whisking the agave syrup and the tequila together. And to that, you add, this is in the book, of course, in the Suppers with the Stars book. Peter's put together a really nice selection of cocktails in the back. There's plenty to choose from. So 1/3 of an ounce of lime juice going in there. And then we top that up with cold champagne. Now, I've got a little mini bottle of champagne here. And this is Heidsick champagne. And I now, since I read that Marilyn Monroe only drank Piper Heidsick champagne, I do the same. It's very expensive. That's why I've only got a little bottle. So I'm topping that up now with the cold champagne. And I think that is going to be super tasty. The garnish for this is a twist of lime. And I always do my twist of lime by slicing a piece of the lime rind, unwaxed limes, if you're going to do this, and then cut a thin strip and then roll it around a knitting needle, if you happen to have one, or chopstick or skewer, something like that. And it makes a nice, cute little lime twist. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to pop that in my Barefoot Contessa, and I'm going to have a taste. Oh, now that is good. That is a really good cocktail. Now, when I'm making film star recipes, I quite often, a lot of the time, you can vary the quantities of things to taste, but when a cocktail is good, it's usually because the quantities of all the different things are absolutely right. And that is absolutely right. That is a humdinger of a cocktail. Thank you, Peter, for putting that in the book. So Peter was talking about Ava Gardner and the brilliant Hollywood Kitchen show he did about Ava Gardner. So the recipe in the Supper with Stars book is from this cookbook, the Cooking with Ava. Now, this cookbook is recipes from her family, fans, and friends. So there's really only 3 Ava Gardner recipes in here that we can sort of verify. They say from one of Ava's cookbooks. So whether that means she'd handwritten a recipe out or whether she'd just, like most of us do, put a big ring round a recipe that we liked in the recipe book, we don't know. But the flounder of fillet, I think, fillet of flounder, that's the right way around. Fillet of flounder is the book, is the recipe we included in the book. And Peter, you did a cooking of that on Karie's show, didn't you? It's fun. Really
Yes,
good.
we did. Yes, we did with Lorna at the from the Ava Gardner Museum, and she did say to me that that recipe was one that Ava had selected from another book that she had got, but it was one of her favorites. So you know, we know that, and it's I've tasted that. I've done that recipe quite a few times. The fillets of flounder. It is so easy. It's breadcrumbs, but the secret is actually sifting the breadcrumbs before you put them on onto the fish. So that you have you don't have the really crunchy breadcrumbs. You have the soft ones, and it works really well. So. Now we've had a couple of people joining us, which is great. And Chris and Kelly sort of say they've just made that same cocktail, and they call it Champagne a Rita.
I love it. That is a very good cocktail. That's going to be going, as people say, in heavy rotation in the Silver Screen Suppers kitchen. I like that a lot.
Don, you what did you do today for us?
How you doing? Okay, I didn't have all the things to make a Bloody Mary today. Long story, but anyway, I've got the Vincent Price chili in this my giant coffee mug, which I very handy. You know, actually, I made this a while back, but I made like a double batch because you know it's fantastic, right? So I got 2 containers in the freezer, so I pulled one out yesterday, and so I was ready for today. And this is I have to say my mom's and my wife's chili, it competes with this, but this isn't my top favorite 3 right here. I'll get in trouble if I don't mention them. You know, mom and my wife's chili, right? So this is very excellent, and the book's very excellent. I'm a movie historian kind of guy, and just from that perspective, it's a great book. And then besides, it's also got great recipes and the way you interconnect all the information together, and the illustrations are very good, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peter. Thank you, Jenny, for all your hard work. It's some amazing book. Keep it close by, you know, inspirational stuff. So thank you guys a lot. And that's all I got today. But I did a heads up though, for as far as you don't want to get your cookbooks dirty. I have a handy Xerox machine here, so I like Xerox, you know, a recipe and take that in the kitchen, and even the dog can chew it and everything's cool, you know. So so that's kind of one of my little solutions there to help out everybody. So.
And we're loving your hat, Don. We're loving your hat.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm a commercial artist and stuff, and a graphic artist. Got Vincent looking over my shoulder back here and stuff, but I thought kind of, you know, great illustrations there, Ben. Love it. And so, you know,
that is
great.
Get
in the spirit here, in the spirit. So great Zoom meeting. Haven't seen you guys in a while. It's great. Love seeing everybody. So bravo. Yay.
Thank you, Don. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Don. Well, I mean, I think we can all sit back now because we're going to do the second lot of our clip show.
Why do you always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Will you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Madeline and I are like figures of fine glass. The slightest touch and we may shatter. Both of us suffer from a morbid acuteness of the senses. Mine is the worse for having existed the longer, but both of us are afflicted with it. Any sort of food more exotic than the most pallid mash is unendurable to my taste buds.
What happened?
This Monsieur Robert, you know, he don't warn me when he has plans to do tricks with the albatross. And voila, chaos. Pots and pans keep tumbling on my poor head. Grease is spilled all over the galley. And the oven door fly open, souffle everywhere, eh? Climatically, a snowfall of souffle. Ah, no, too much.
Attention all crew, stand by for bomb run. Attention all crew, stand by for bomb run.
Can't be serious.
Can't he?
This is your last warning. Abandon your ship before it's too late.
Tell me when we're directly above them, Mr. Turner.
directly over them, sir. Sir, we're directly over them.
Christopher, not 10 minutes ago, I tried to kill a stray cat with a cabbage and all but made love to the Lady Rowena. I succeeded in squashing the cabbage and badly frightening the lady. If only I could lay open my own brain as easily as I did that vegetable, what rat would be freed from its gray leaves?
J'ai trouvé des plaisirs à entendre dans ces choses agréables et amusantes.
Beautiful.
J'étonne assez de toi, une comédie de la vie. Si tu entends cette étrange musique, dites-moi, la 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 la.
Will you stop that ungodly caterwauling?
Must have been an earthquake.
Bordeaux, Cabernet, Chateau Margaux, vintage 1837. A bit heavy for a Margaux. Correct!
Chateau Petit Village, 1828. It's very good.
Correct. I must say, you seem to know your wine, sir.
I should.
However, I feel I must comment on your most unorthodox method of tasting.
Huh?
Well, the accredited procedure is, of course, to partake of a small mouthful like this, swoosh it around in the mouth like that, and then inhale like this, thus releasing the aroma.
You do it your way and I do it my way, huh?
You got some dried blood off a bat in the house?
I beg your pardon?
Bat's blood. Dried or evaporated bat's blood.
No.
How about some chainlings from a gallows bird? Jellied spiders. Rabbit slod. Dead man's hair.
No, we don't keep those things in this house. We're vegetarians.
How about you, sir?
No, Joy. You better go on to the Yard's Method Index.
I already did, sir. We're checking on girls of the same age. Servants. Every assault in this area for the past 12 months, sir.
How long have these been around? They're curling up like Charlie Chaplin's boots, huh?
Everything okay at Crawdon, sir?
Appears to be. Yes, the statements check out all right. You better see what you can find on this Browning character, conviction or some record or other.
Yes.
Can't tell one from the other of these bloody things. It smells like cheese, looks like ham. No, not far wrong, it's chicken.
To Egypt and our arrival here. My compliments to you, Vulnavia. You have done wonders with the local fish. this is the very best vintage, monsieur. 66. Oh, I hope everything is to monsieur's satisfaction.
Simply delicious.
Bon d'accord.
I wonder where my babies have got to. My dog is, you know. I always think of them as my babies.
Of course you do, monsieur. And so do we. That is part of your surprise.
All the same, I wish they were here to share this with me.
Well, there they are, both baked in that pie, whereof their mother daintily hath fed, eating the flesh which she herself hath bred. Oh.
What was that? Where are my dogs? Where are my babies?
Well, if monsieur cannot do without his dogs, then he shall have his dogs. Perhaps. You see, monsieur, 2 dogs, 2 pies. We knew that monsieur would be hungry. You do remember, monsieur, how in Titus Andronicus the queen tomorrow was served her own children baked in a pie? Of course, in your case, we've used only the tenderest morsels. Do have some more. Now, will you ever again ruin the reputation of an honest man?
No.
Have you learnt your lesson?
No.
Can I be certain that you will never again offend me?
Yes.
You're quite right. I can be sure. Just 2 more, gorged with the dearest morsel. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food. Pity. He didn't have the stomach for it. When day's done and grass is wet with twilight, my lonely
It's your favorite,
heart is
Paul.
singing with a song.
Sour cream and red herrings.
The whole day through, I miss you when day is done. Wolfgang. I'll have the usual.
I'm afraid type B is off.
But I'll have to make do with that common typo.
If I may suggest tomato juice, it will look less conspicuous.
Allow me to introduce you, Mr. Corrigan. This is Lord Grisbane.
Lord Grisbane.
His sons, Lionel and Sebastian.
This really is most embarrassing.
And his charming daughter, Victoria.
How did you find out?
The portrait's in the hall.
Would somebody be good enough to tell me just exactly what is going on, please?
A family reunion, sir. I'd have thought that was obvious.
May I offer you some punch, Mr. Corrigan? It's from my own recipe.
Unhappily, the steward is an idiot. The American lady and her English husband at the next table are Jewish. He placed them here. They objected to eating with what they called the terrorists, so they insulted me and moved. If your sympathies are the same, I would suggest that you move now.
Well, I certainly understand how they feel. A lot of innocent people were killed at the airport this morning by terrorists.
And of course, they must have been Arab terrorists.
I don't know. If you'd be more comfortable sitting alone, I can have the seating arrangements changed for the next meal.
No, Mr. Graham, I admit I am glad of your company tonight. My wife suffers from the sea and will have to stay in her cabin.
Italian cooking without conversation is worse than monotonous.
Yes, it does tend to be oily.
Mrs. Weber.
Oh, Mr. Marinoff, what an eye you have for color.
Thank you. Now, I must see to those fish.
Yes.
We shall see if I have kept my skill of hand.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
You never can tell.
Where have you been staying this summer? Libby, he was... Oh, of course, Hilda. Oh, how sad. And how very unfortunate for you, Mr. Marinoff. Have you found another place?
Not yet.
I do advise you, Mr. Marinoff, to start your search for a refuge immediately. But I must warn you, do not expect to find it here.
I've learned one thing from life, Mrs. Strong. To expect nothing.
Okay, chums, we've got one more cocktail, and it is the Miss Moon's hair razor. Peter's named this in honour of Diana Rigg and Theatre of Blood. It is in the book. It's a nice simple one to end with, so I'm gonna call this my little nightcap for the evening, because it's 9:30 here. I'm usually in bed by this time, but I shall be taking this to bed with me. Right, so I'm going to get some ice. Plenty of ice for this one, I think. And this is in a Tom Collins glass, which is one of these long, thin shaped glass. So I've got plenty of ice in there. And first of all, it is 2 ounces of Cointreau, which I've already measured out. You could probably use other orange liqueurs for this, but Cointreau it is round here. I guess everyone knows Cointreau, delicious. And then it's 2 slices of lemon, so put those in the glass. Couple of sprigs of mint, and then you top it up with Prosecco. Now, I get a lot of groceries delivered because I live in a floor flat and there's no lift here. And I'm often making mistakes when I order my groceries. So when I ordered a bottle of Prosecco recently, I didn't realise it was a little teeny tiny one. I thought it was a whole big bottle of Prosecco. It's very nice, shiny, but I was going to use that. But you know what? I've still got half of that little bottle of Heidsieck left, so I'm going to use that instead. So it'd be a bit of a fancy pants version with champagne, real champagne. So chopping it up. And shall we all raise a glass to Vincent, to the book, and to our friend?
I'd like to raise a toast to the lovely Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor was a man who basically, he was a collector. He actually had loads of lovely memorabilia of Vincent Price, and he passed away yesterday. So here's to Robert.
Thank you.
And well, thank you everyone for like joining us today. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Very good.
Oh, it's a joy as always.
Fun time.
Yeah, great.
And it's great that you've all, it's wonderful that you've all supported like the book. And please, just tell everyone, tell all your friends and family about the paperback version and the Kindle version. Oh yeah, there we go, Sarah. Fabulous. Yes, thanks, Dwayne. I'm sending out your EP tomorrow, Dwayne. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Much appreciated.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for supporting Vincent's Legacy. And if you'd like to do, if you think we could actually do another cook along where we actually like cook along together or something, then just give me a bell, email me and Jenny, and just sort of like think, yeah, we could do this, because we love actually like just being together with everyone. So
Yeah.
Sounds great, Peter.
I'm in.